Ladies and gentlemen, welcome from Nebraska and the capital city, Lincoln. And this is on the background, you could see the governor's office. Governor Pete Ricketts has won the second election and he became the 40th governor of the states of Nebraska. Nebraska is known as one of the vibrant states in the Midwest of the United States of America, which became the 37th state of United States of America in 1867. Nebraska has almost 2 million population. Pete Ricketts, who is very famous and well-known business personality, turned his career into politics in 2006 when he lost the U.S. Senate race. And 2014, he won for governor of the states of Nebraska, and in 2018, he re-elected. Welcome to the show, Pete.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on.
This is a great pleasure and privilege to have you in my show. Like I told in the announcement, first of all, this is really a great curiosity to me that how a successful politician who run multiple business turn into a politics.
Well, it's actually one of the reasons why I got involved in politics.
Yes.
That I thought there was an opportunity to take the things I learned in the business world
Right.
and applying to making government run better.
Right.
So obviously government doesn't run for a profit,
Yes.
but we do have operations,
Right.
we have expenses, we
Right.
provide services.
Right.
And all those things should be done to the best possible ability that we can. And so what I have done is taken the things I've learned in the business world to running government to make it more effective, more efficient, and more customer oriented.
But regarding if we talk about your political career, that was started with unsuccessful run in the U.S. Senator in 2006.
Right.
This is very interesting for my audience as well and for me as well to know that how you regain your position and how you stood and raised again and made your dream success and became a governor in Nebraska.
So as you noted, I ran for U.S. Senate in 2006, unsuccessfully.
Right.
But after I lost that election,
Yes.
I continued to stay involved in politics behind the scenes.
Yes.
So I helped create a free market think tank, a watchdog group, different grassroots types groups to get involved with politics and help elect other officials. And then I developed my network of people all across the state of Nebraska through
Right.
my efforts.
Right.
And so when the opportunity came to run for governor in 2014 because of term limits, our previous governor was term limit out of office, then I was able to really leverage that network to be able to be successful and get elected to governor in 2014.
Yes. Do you think that your millionaire position, or that means your successful entrepreneurship contributed to winning the election in 14?
Well, it's absolutely one of the cases that I made to the people is that I would use my business skills to
Right.
run government better.
Right.
People are frustrated when government doesn't work well. And too often, we just don't do the things in government we should to be effective. And so what I really was able to make the case is as a businessman, I would be able to make government run better for the people.
Yes, especially in the United States, further regarding election, always involve money and the monetary fact. Regarding 2006, you had tremendous support of then President George W. Bush as well, who was here in your campaign just a day before the election, right?
So yes,
Though
we had President
you
Bush
lose
here,
that.
yes.
So my question is, what is the major lesson that people can learn from you, a guy who fell and raised again?
Well, I think again it was about, I had never run for office before in 2006.
Right.
And I had to go out and develop those relationships across the state of Nebraska.
Right.
And that takes time. And so by continuing to be involved, even after I lost that election, many people were impressed. I didn't go away, I stayed involved. And that really helped earn their trust
Right.
as I continued to work for the state and then eventually ran and was successful in 2014. But it was really that persistence of staying involved, continuing to contribute even behind the scenes that helped me gain the trust of people that I would be here for the long haul.
I would like to congratulate you for the re-election.
Thank you.
I mean the re-electing as a governor of the Nebraska. My question is, what are the things that made you re-elect again?
Well, we were able to deliver on our promises to grow Nebraska. So what I campaigned on is running government better
Yeah.
to help make sure we're creating jobs in our state. So the results of that investment by companies who have come here to help create jobs is the key reason that I got reelected. So we have been able to do a better job on all of our agencies. We measure our results and we can show people that whether it's in health and human services, we're serving our families there better.
Right.
Whether it's in environmental permitting, we're getting our permits done faster. Nurse licenses, we're getting nurse licenses done faster. We're answering the phone faster. We're processing applications faster. We're giving out driver's licenses faster. So all these things, we're demonstrating that we're providing a higher level of service to the people.
Right.
And we were being able to put money into tax relief because we were controlling our spending. And all that led us to win the Governor's Cup from Site Selection Magazine for 2 years in a row for the most economic development projects per capita of any state in the country.
Yeah.
In fact, we had more projects than North Dakota, South Dakota, and Kansas combined. And when companies invest, they create the jobs. And that's ultimately what we ran the campaign on, was that we were creating jobs here in Nebraska, and that's why I think people voted to let me continue my work.
That's amazing. And if you'd like to summarize your achievement regarding the first tenure, what is that?
It really is about creating those job opportunities for Nebraska families. And I'll give you a specific example.
Yes.
Here in Lincoln, our capital city,
Right.
Kawasaki has had a plant for over 40 years.
Right.
And through our relationships we developed with them, and because we've created a competitive environment, they created their first aerospace division right here in the United States, right here in Nebraska. And because we did that, there was a man by the name of Eric Jones who worked in their other production lines, volunteered for this new division,
Yes.
was made a supervisor, sent to Japan for 3 months of training, and now has an even better job to help take care of his family. And that is what it's all about, is helping people like Eric Jones get a better job to help take care of his family.
That's amazing, Governor. Regarding so many significant jobs and bills that you did in your previous tenure, those 3 bills were really famous, which you use your veto as well, right? LV 610, 268, or what, 235?
So I don't remember the bill number specifically.
Yeah, but a specific number means, my question is, how do you like to analyze those bills were contributing to the state of Nebraska? What is your standing regarding those? What you use veto? What were the secret of those?
Right. So when I use my veto over
Yes.
bills the legislature passed, it's on policy issues I disagree with. So for example, I vetoed bills that would raise taxes.
Yes.
I believe that was the wrong thing to do. Last year when we were, now 2 years ago now, when I vetoed line items of spending out of the budget, it was to control spending. Because
Yes.
we have to live within a budget just like every family does.
Right.
And so I was helping to control spending. So the vetoes, the most recent vetoes we did, were more or less around issues of controlling spending.
Do you think that those are serving the people in the Nebraska, and those are still relevant and valuable for the welfare of the state of Nebraska?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, what we have to do is be able to live within our means. We have to prioritize what we're going to spend money on, and that means we can't overspend our budget.
Yeah.
So we have, by controlling our spending, we're still doing a great job of providing services at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's part of it too, is that because we focused on running government more like a business and being more effective about how we're delivering services, we can actually do a better job providing services while we're controlling spending. And so a lot of those vetoes had to make sure we were controlling our spending, and ultimately that's how we were able to also provide tax relief to our citizens.
There are 49 governors in the United States of America.
50,
right?
including me.
Including you, 50. Where you would like to rate yourself? What's the number among them?
I don't worry about how I rate myself against other governors. What I'm really focused on is how am I doing for the people of Nebraska? You know, every state's different. The governors in Massachusetts and Maryland have different priorities than we do
Yeah.
here in Nebraska. So I focus on what am I doing to deliver to the people of Nebraska, and obviously I've earned their trust enough to get reelected to a second term.
There are so many surveying agencies and they are giving the number this and that, but we are very happy and very curious to hear from your mouth. What is your number if you won't give yourself?
Well, I suppose you can go out there and look. There's probably a number of institutions that are measuring that. I don't actually pay attention to those things. So what I really focus on is, you know, how are we doing, making sure we're delivering our services for the people of Nebraska.
So some of the surveying agencies and sometimes the people gives you really, really good number, like top 3, something like that. And there is contributing one factor, your relationship with the President Trump. If we would like to listen that what kind of relation do you have with the president, and that is just a political courtesy, or you have some different level of relations?
Well, I met the president when he was running for elections the first time around, and had a chance to spend about 45 minutes with him when he was in Nebraska campaigning.
Yes.
And obviously, as with all governors, we have the opportunity to interface with the administration. The president hosts all the governors once a year at the White House for discussions.
Right.
So we've got a very good working relationship, not only with the president, but with his administration. And one of the things I really appreciate about this administration is they are trying to push power out of Washington, D.C. back to the states. And that's really where it belongs. Government closer to the people is more effective. It does a better job of being responsive to the people's needs. And so this administration really is trying to push that power back to the states and let us make the decisions about how we should be helping our people. And again, as I said before, you know, what works in Nebraska may not work in another state like New Jersey, and vice versa. What works in New Jersey may not work here. The more flexibility we as states have to set policy, the better we'll be able to serve people.
Yes,
Well,
definitely. As a politician, you might have really good political relations. But what if there is personal level of relation?
I really haven't had a personal relationship where we've gone out to dinner or anything like that. Obviously, we're friendly. I see him. He knows who I am. But I haven't had the chance, for example, to go play golf with him or anything like that.
Are you really happy with his administration during the 2 years?
I am. This president has really been responsive to us as states. He has told his cabinet members to be outside of Washington, D.C.
Right.
So we have had a number of visits from cabinet members of President Trump in Nebraska where that never happened before. I think we had, in my 2 years under President Obama, we had one cabinet member here.
Wow.
And we've had multiple cabinet members here multiple times. So that, again, that really gets at that this administration cares what we think about in the states, and that's important to me.
Yes, especially if we talk regarding international relationship and immigration issues. Many people blame President Trump that he is doing wrong, this and that. What is your reading regarding those issues of President?
Well, immigration is a very important issue to us, and
Right.
it does start with border security.
Right.
And I think no country can say they've got a country unless they actually have borders that they can defend.
Definitely.
And so the president has rightly identified that we need to have a secure border, that we can't just allow anybody to come in. We have to do it in an orderly way. And so I support the president as he works through coming up with an immigration system that will work. Now, we also want to make sure we can bring people in legally as well. And that's one of the things that I would hope the president would work on, is not only securing our border, but looking at ways that we can make sure that we're allowing immigration into the country of the people that we need here.
Are you favoring his states in the border wall in the Mexico border?
Well, absolutely, we have to have more security on that border with Mexico, that southern border, because that's where a lot of illegal immigrants come across the border.
Yes, that's why you support that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, Governor, though we have a lot of issues to discuss, and you are really fantastic to answering as well. This is really happy, but due to lack of time, let me draw your attention regarding Nepal and the Nepalese community living in your state. Like one of my friend and dynamic business person, Mr. Ganendra Bhandari, who connected me with you, and I got this opportunity. He's the founder president of the Nepalese Society in Nebraska as well. What is your reading regarding Nepalese community living here?
Well, there's actually a fairly large Nepalese community in Nebraska. And a lot of it's connected with Bellevue University, for example.
Right.
And what I saw is that this community is very dynamic. That, for example, when there was the terrible earthquake in Kathmandu, that the community pulled together to raise resources to be able to help send aid to Nepal. So I think they've got a very dynamic community. I certainly enjoy working with folks, especially I appreciate my friend Gainendra to be able to.
How is he personally?
He is a great guy, and he runs a great restaurant too.
And what is your analysis regarding Nepal, that we are raising from a long insurgency? We fortunately settled that, and we draft a new constitution, and the country is running through the new constitution that is the newest in the world. Just last year we released that. And now the federal government is running really successful. What is your reading regarding Nepal as a newly federal democratic republic?
Well, obviously, I think that when you have people being able to vote on their government, that's a good thing. That's the way that we should be self-governing. It's been several years since I've been back to Nepal, but I have made several trips in the past. And I've always loved my visits to Nepal. In fact, on the most recent one, I brought my family to Nepal.
Oh, amazing.
And
When was that?
That was, that was probably 2012 maybe?
Great.
2012 or 2013.
Yes.
And it was great for my kids to be able to see what a beautiful country it is. But
Do you remember any place or location that you spent?
well, we went to Kathmandu. We went to actually there's a group called the Z Foundation, which is a nonprofit that does development work in remote parts of Nepal, like the Sotang area, the different provinces like that. And so we went and visited some of their project areas. So we went out to actually get outside of just the big city of Kathmandu, and we also went to Bhaktapur, because I've got friends there as well. But then we also went out into the country to be able to visit people. So it was really neat to be able to do that, and the people of Nepal were just so hospitable and so welcoming. It really made an impression on me and my entire family, just about how warm and generous-hearted the people of Nepal are.
Yes, thank you very much for so nice remarks. And after 16 years, our foreign minister came to the United States, and Washington D.C. and Mike Pompeo had a really good meeting
Wonderful.
with him. That's really good thing to strengthen the relation between those countries. What is your advice to get our relationship more stronger?
Well, I would just encourage more
Yes.
people from Nepal to come to the United States and vice versa.
Yes.
That more of that people-to-people contact will strengthen that relationship, and I think that will also then pay benefits as you have more relationships with regard to our Secretary of State and your Foreign Minister and so forth. The more meetings they can have,
Yes.
I think the better it will be. So it really is. I love Nepal. I look forward to returning there someday again, and would love to have again strong relationships between Nepal and the United States.
Governor, thank you very much for your wonderful time and your wonderful opinion. This is really great pleasure to get you. Eventually, would you mind to answer me, as the 40th President Donald Trump, what is your rating to him?
Well, I think the President's doing a very good job.
Yes.
That he's addressing the issues with regard to, we talked about like border security, but even more importantly, creating economic growth.
Right.
So for a long time, the United States had an economic growth of like 1 or 2%, and this
Right.
past year we had over 3%, getting close to 4%. And what that means is more people have jobs. And when people have jobs, they can take care of their family. And that's the most important thing that a government can think about domestically, is to make sure that people can pursue their dreams. They can send their kids to school, go on holiday, be able to enjoy the good life in their country. And that's what we focus on here in Nebraska, and that's what the President has been helping create in the entire United States of America.
Would you mind to tell one thing, that how do you manage your business, family, 3 kids, and a political career and serving the people? What is the secret of all those things that you are getting success and success?
Well, it all gets back to having great people to help
This is
manage.
honestly the final question, so we
All right.
want to listen from you.
It is, first of all, it's all about having great people work in your organizations.
Right.
I really don't have a business that I'm running anymore, so it's just focusing on the state of Nebraska. But it's about making sure you prioritize. So I set aside time for my family, Wednesday dinner nights, Sundays. Those are days I don't work, so I really focus on my family. And then just prior to having a great team to help you manage your time is part of how I make this all work.
Thank you very much, Governor. This is
Thank you,
great.
Karen.
Thank you.
Thank you.